you aren't ready and ride this out. We'll let you know.
The Center for Disease Control in Washington, D.C. has issued a viral outbreak warning. State and local officials have reported cases of high fever, nausea, death, and even cannibalism. Stay in place until further notice.
What the heck? Did you...
What? I was just driving like a slug to get to the house.
Hold on, Mom's calling. Hey, did you just get that emergency alert? Yes?
You need to get home right now. I got notice from the emergency broadcast system. There's some sort of a weird virus outbreak that is not being tested.
Okay, I'm pulling the driveway right now.
We're not the U.S. Marines. I can't get inside going now.
Okay, there's Barrett. He's got the Jeep. Don't move.
What? Like, cannibals? Where's the zombie?
Mandatory redistribution party. Mandatory redistribution party. Mandatory redistribution party. Mandatory redistribution party. Redistribution party. Mandatory redistribution party. Mandatory redistribution party.
Hello, and welcome to Mandatory Redistribution Party. My name is Sean Morley.
And my name is Jack Lewis Evans.
In this episode, we ask, if an apocalypse happens slowly, how can we tell when it has arrived?
When will we celebrate its birthday?
When can you go off sick from work with apocalypse?
I think you're always on after the apocalypse. No holidays.
Yeah, if anything, they'd use it as an excuse to ring you up.
Mandos will continue even if the Earth is destroyed, and that's only possible thanks to your support. You can help others find the podcast by leaving us a 5-star review on your chosen platform, sharing this episode on social media, and using mini-discs of episodes as currency inside the zone.
And if you want to fund some additional lead to blast-proof the Mando's archives, you can always chuck us some scrap on patreon.com/mandatory redistribution party and unlock a trove of treats that will last you until the air becomes breathable again. Oh nice, is that the Jubilee?
Sounds like happy birthday, but it sounds bad.
Sounds like it's coming from deep underground.
Yeah, I can feel it in my boots and my bones.
It's like there's a party in my ankles and no one's invited me.
Hold on. Is the earth an egg and a slumbering elder god is hatching from within?
I don't know where you're getting that from. I think this is plate tectonics.
Oh god, look. There it is. Look at its massive eye.
No, it's going to be a hologram. This will be an advert. It's Fortnite, probably, DLC.
Oh no, I think it's its birthday.
It's not going to be its birthday, because it was just hatched.
That's literally a birthday.
No one, you don't celebrate 0. It's not your birthday when you're born.
It's my birthday. I went back into my egg for 8 billion years. Now it's time to blow out the candles on my cake.
Oh no, Sean. I think we're the candles.
The candles are on the cake. We're the egg.
I think we're both.
We're the egg and the cake.
My egg I've been in is also my cake. Time to breathe in and blow my candles out into space!
I'm not following what... So what are the candles then? Is that trees or buildings? Is this guy going to blow down a forest?
We're the candles. The human population of Earth. He's 8 billion years old.
Where are you getting all this from? Are we watching the same thing? This doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm quite partial to a sort of Johnny Knoxville style prank.
What's the criteria for a Johnny Knoxville style prank?
Have you seen this TV show Jackass?
Oh, I'm familiar, but if he launches himself into a hole and breaks his back, is that a prank?
No, that's not. That's a stunt. There's a distinction. Jackass has 2 parts. Pranks.
Mm-hmm.
He gets a rental car and then takes it to a destruction derby and then tries to bring it back to the rental place.
I see. That's funny.
That's a prank. That's the really good bit of Jackass, and then the other bit is someone just like throwing a skateboard into someone else's ball bag.
For some reason, that's the bit that sticks in my mind. And I guess that's the thing that they popularised, because obviously pranks are much older.
Yes.
Whereas just hurting yourself and filming it was absolutely there.
Yeah.
USP.
I don't think that's a prank.
No, this was my confusion.
Yeah,
but you have
yeah.
reminded me there was more to the Jackass oeuvre than I remember.
And that's it. There, it's two things. I don't think there's more. But there's infinite variety to them. There was a bit of a phase, I think, in the early 2010s of like apocalypse prank.
Okay.
There's two that stick out in my mind. The one where the American girl gets her wisdom teeth out and then she's getting driven. Apparently it's a thing to film you after your wisdom teeth operation in America. I don't fucking know.
That was that child after the dentist, remember?
No.
This was one of the big early YouTube, along with like Charlie Bit Me. Was it called like David After Dentist?
No, I don't know about David After
Just
Dentist.
a really drugged up kid in the back seat of a car in America.
Okay, this is good.
Asking if something is real life.
So that's context, right? That's really important context you added there. I don't remember that. I think I just went straight to that video. And the girl is like in the car with her brothers, and then they put like a fake American government apocalypse, like CDC safety announcement on the radio.
I see, yeah.
And then they get their mums on it and gets a phone call of like, we've got to get back to the house, we've got to get supplies. And she's got all like, whatever it is, dental stuff in her mouth. Like, it looks like bloodied cotton wool in her mouth. And she's just like clearly out of it on whatever the meds were still. I don't know. She just seems really confused. I don't know if she ever fully buys that an apocalypse is happening. But there's some real funny stuff in it, like when they keep asking her to make decisions. The guy driving the car gets out of the car. He's like, we've got to get supplies. We've got to get weapons. And then he puts like a rake in the back of the car.
That's good.
And she's like, don't we have guns? Because it's America. Don't we have guns? Yeah. Why are you getting a rake? He's like, we might need a rake. And then she's like, I don't feel safe. I need something to protect myself. And he comes back and he gives her a litter picker. We're in danger. You've got to protect yourself. And she's like, what's this going to do? It's a litter picker. And then the other guy, I think they were brothers. The other guy comes to the other side and goes, quickly. What's the, we can only take one pet to the shelter. Do we take the cat or the dog? And she just very quickly, she's getting like really stressed out, but she really quickly goes like, of course the cat, the dog's nearly dead anyway. It's just like she's making these like quick fire fucked up decisions. And then at one point she sort of cottons, she starts to, well, she doesn't cotton on, but she starts going like, why do I have to make all decisions? Because they just keep asking these quick fire questions. And the other one that's quite funny is, for very different reasons, this granddad guy who is being filmed, and they're watching some like cooking show about eels. And then it's the same.
That's my favourite details ever.
Yeah, I don't know why I remember that. It might be, you'll go back and watch it and be like, this isn't eels, Jack, what the fuck? But in my head, it's eels. And then it cuts in, and it's like the CDC, and it's America again. It's like an announcement. But this one's for like, there's a nuclear missile coming. The North Koreans have launched a nuclear missile. It's going to hit Los Angeles. You need to sort it out.
You need to sort it out. All right, I'll head on down.
Yeah. But the granddad, I don't know, because he must have gone through all that Cold War. There's whatever nuke comes training. It's just like completely unfazed. There's a lot of other people in the room, like sort of a bit rattled, and he's just like keeps drinking his little beer.
Oh, he's not getting up. He's not being like, okay, we should do this. He's just sipping.
I think it says at some point in the broadcast, like, try to remain calm, and he 100% does. And then at one point he's like, Los Angeles, where I don't know where they are, but his view is that Los Angeles is really far away, so maybe they don't need to rush.
Yeah, still prepare. Yeah. But I can finish this.
I can finish my drink, yeah.
How do you think you would do now that you're exposed to like depictions of real people witnessing what they think is the apocalypse?
Yeah, I would deal bad. I would be stressed out.
I think the first snap decision is, do I think I have a legit fighting chance, and therefore I should put absolutely everything I've got into ensuring my survival and the survival of the people I care about? Or do I think this probably isn't going to work out well for me? It doesn't really play to my strengths. We should probably just enjoy this now. If we have any like nice food we were saving, or, there's no point keeping like the champers on top of the fridge anymore. Let's just have a nice evening. Let's get a board game out.
But of course, there's the third reaction.
Loot and kill your neighbours?
Oh, maybe fourth reaction. Fourth loot and kill. Specifically your neighbours. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's the purge. Time to go.
Yeah.
Yes!
It's to go with. It's probably a prank.
Oh, that would never occur to me.
That's what I was
That
getting
would
at
never
before.
occur to me. Okay, so like of all the options, I would never pick that one. Right? Because let's say you go, I'm going to do my very best to survive, and then you die. In your last moments, you think, well, I did my best. It overcame me. The apocalypse is stronger than me. So what?
I think a lot of people...
I tried to enjoy it with my friends and then die. I think I used my last chance wisely. I loot and kill my neighbours, and one of them kills me first. I think I was messing around. I was pretty cheeky there. I'd probably deserve this. But... I think it's a prank, and I refuse to believe anyone. And then it's true. In my last moment, I think I'm a fucking idiot. This is the stupidest, worst thing I've ever done. Thinking it was a prank when I should have just gone to the shelter.
But what if you kill your neighbour and then it's a prank? Who's the idiot then?
I never even thought about combining them.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
is where my mind. They can interact. All these choices can interact. I do the purge, and it just turns out it's just a normal Tuesday.
Exactly. That's the first fun. My reaction.
And it's all filmed for YouTube by my friend.
But therein, that could create accidentally an apocalypse. The prank, if it got really out of hand. You see what I mean? So that is part of my fear. Is that I think not most, but I think a lot of people will sort of will think it's a prank.
It's like the opposite of COVID stuff, right? Because a lot of what we're used to is there are genuine problems, and then like a reactionary culture forms where it's like, I'm not going to do anything, and I don't need to do anything. That's liberty. But you could easily imagine the other, where like everything's sort of normal, but then people are like, no. There's a new kind of disease that makes your eyes burst, and you can only stop it by swimming to my offshore sea colony.
Yeah.
And like local authorities are like, no, that's not true. It's too late. Yeah. They're all paddling. They're all on the Pedlos, all orchestrated by the Pedalo Corporation.
Well, and some of the local authorities wouldn't want people to panic because they want the roads clear for the rich people.
Yeah.
So would they actually tell you? I don't know. I think you can imagine a situation very much like this.
They just want to open up free trade with the floating Pedalo city that's like doing laps around the UK and Ireland.
Yeah. Waterworld.
Stopping off at Guernsey to refuel. Bulk ordering burgers.
Yeah. Cool Mohawk punks that sort of in Mad Max aesthetic, but they're in swan pedlos.
Yeah, but they're mostly just harassing the people that
gun.
are trying to fix some of the wind platforms. Not enough people on the sea, really, to do banditry. You keep having to come up onto the coast and just, raid the two-piece slots.
Yeah. I can't believe you didn't think about the prank. You're a prankster.
Oh, no, but that's where I get my blind spot. I prank others. I see myself only as the agent, never the victim.
Yeah, the prankee.
Highly prankable. Maximum offense, no defense. Can't lose.
Min-max.
Yeah. Always lying, believe everything. Bad strap, but high impact. What's your favourite flavour of apocalypse?
Asteroid.
Asteroid?
The Dino Dunker.
So we're talking like dino level mass extinction.
So if I as an individual was going to get killed, I would go by sniper.
Through the head, just...
I don't even know it's coming. It's just instant, sudden...
I'm here, I'm gone. Absolutely.
Please don't anyone shoot me. But my point is that if you
were going to, if you had to...
If I had to, yeah. So what I'm saying is that the asteroid, for me, is like the sniper rifle for Earth.
Well, you're a little bit presuming you're on the right side of the planet. Obviously, if it lands on your house, quid's in. But you could be like, it could land on Australia and then you're in dust cloud mode. You're like smog and...
2 asteroids from each different side of the Earth.
Yeah, sandwich, just completely synchronized
asteroid
either
buddy.
side of...
Yeah, really bad luck.
Asteroid BAP.
And obviously also, it would have to be some asteroid that is not visible by any human technology until it's arrived.
Yeah, isn't that a big problem, right? Because it's like, It's not like a sniper rifle. It occludes the entire sun. You know
Only
about
if it
it for
comes
a
from the
year in
direction of the
advance.
sun.
No, but like scientists from Australia are going, yeah, this thing's going to get us in a few months. And then you've got this horrible few months when it's like,
No,
we
I
still
don't
want you to
want
come
that.
into
That's what I'm
work.
saying,
We
I
still
don't want
expect you
that.
to be in for 9 o'clock.
If you
And it's
refer-
like, come on, the asteroid.
If you
Can't
refer
they
to
just
my
have a
original
PIMS?
statement, I referred to the Dino Dunker. The dinosaurs had no idea that shit was going to happen. It just took them out.
And what are you saying? You want to travel back in time?
No, I want to. That you asked me a stupid hypothetical question.
I'm just
and
trying to
I've
understand it.
Right? Yeah. So, and I've explained that. What I want is an asteroid that I'm ignorant of.
Yeah. It could just be an asteroid that like looks a lot like space.
It's got a drawing of space on it.
Or maybe the rest of the world knows, but you're put in this kind of Goodbye Lenin situation where it's like everyone knows you want to get sniped. So they're very carefully keeping the asteroid from you.
Yeah.
And there's like, and it's like a thing, like you can put it in your phone. If there was, they should put it in
What,
now,
asteroid
like an
day?
add-on. Being like, if they ever find an asteroid that's going to definitely wipe out the planet, do you want to know yes or no?
Oh yeah, I've got it. I've got asteroid muted on Twitter because I don't want to be spoiled.
See, I'm the other way. I've got Google Alerts. I get a push notification every time there's one coming anywhere close.
What's your favourite apocalypse? You don't like an asteroid?
I can't picture yours because I think we would detect an asteroid. And I think I'd just be stressed.
No, yeah, but it's a hypothetical. So you just say we wouldn't detect
I'll just
it.
pick anything.
Isn't this the game?
Well, okay, I just have all the pleasure centres in my brain overloaded until I die.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no, I feel like it's so abstract that way. That I've not.
But if you say realistic, then you can't have zombie.
You can't have zombie.
No, you can't have zombie. Zombie can't be real.
You can have. Why can't zombie be
Okay,
real?
so zombie can be real, but not knowing about an asteroid can't be real.
Why can't zombie be real?
What, dead matter can continue living? Incorrect.
No, come on. We did like the rage virus from 28 Days Later. It's just the
Yeah,
angry
okay,
disease.
all right, little loophole. That's not the traditional zombie apocalypse, is it?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Got you.
it's not. No, you got me. I'm owned.
You
I'm
have
destroyed.
tasted the other side of the blade.
I have been absolutely decimated. I am dead.
Yeah, but
And yet
only by your
I
own
still
criteria.
move.
I'm happy for zombie if you're happy for unseen asteroid.
I don't want zombie. I don't want to live in zombie.
No.
I want
zombie's
Day
bad.
of the Triffids.
Yeah. Which, incidentally, 28 Days Later, heavily ripped off in its first act.
I think it's a great open.
As did Walking Dead, actually.
Because you want to place them like they're a stranger in a strange land, but they also live there, which is a hard thing to do narratively. They were just in the
They
hospital.
were in a coma. They were asleep.
Yeah, and everyone just died around them.
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on? You also get to have some bum shots as well.
Yeah, bum peeking out.
Ideal.
Does anything else use that? So Triffids is, I'm guessing the OG, but I don't actually know.
Triffids is 100% OG. It was cited as an influence.
On 28 Days Later. And then Walking Dead just...
Well, because in Triffids it's doing extra work, because actually the asteroid that comes blinds anyone who sees it. So you get this like two strata of society because a lot of people can't see anymore. And he's having like his cataracts done or something.
Yeah,
so he's like
yeah.
in this incredibly light sensitive room, which explains his ability to see afterwards.
Triffids would be bad.
What about those apocalypses where like for no explained reason most people are gone? Like it was the Rapture. The Rapture happened.
Disappearing.
Yeah, they're just all gone.
Yeah.
I like the Rapture because it implies like they're all happy, They're all happy, they believe they were good.
Does no one get raptured to hell? You just get left. That is hell.
Well, that is hell, yeah.
Okay.
Earth is hell. That's the final spoiler of religion.
Wow.
The bad place. You're in it now.
What if your favourite thing about life is your mad mate who's got very dubious ethics by whatever rules of whoever's doing the rapture, but you think they're all right? And then you get raptured, but your friend is still on Earth hell.
That's also the problem with heaven as well.
Oh, yeah.
You need to be as naughty as your friends. That's why peer pressure. We'll go, peer pressure. Don't let them tell you into it. It's like, what? You want me to be more moral than my friends and then spend the afterlife being Billy No Mates? I have to be as naughty as my friends. Convert all of us or convert none of us.
That is the most powerful, convincing aspect of peer pressure. Is it who we are going to be with for eternity? That's what people think. They have to explain that to teens.
I'm always trying to tell them, don't you want to be connected to, the divine spirit? And they're saying, we only live for the flesh. Now, we found a till behind B&M Bargains. We're going to hit it with a hammer until we can get some of the coins out. Do you want to come? Go on then.
I'd do a Matrix apocalypse.
What, full robot?
Full robot. If you're in the Matrix and you don't know. We could be now.
You don't want
We
to
could
be in
now.
those middle stages where the robots are like first advocating for their rights, then receiving their rights. I actually don't remember the animatrix
No,
at all.
what? That's not what happened.
Isn't it the robots are like, we're like people, let us vote, and then they all vote to take over. the Reichstag fire burns down and they take over.
I think Revenge of
I
the
actually
Sith.
don't remember anything.
Yeah. I'm not sure that's it.
Hang on though. If you pick the Matrix, you're just picking to live your life now. You're just picking this. You're saying I want exactly this to happen exactly as it is, but on a technicality, it's an apocalypse.
Yeah, exactly.
It's cheeky, but I respect it.
Yeah, I guess there's a difference between asking what's your favourite apocalypse and what's your favourite post-apocalypse. I would argue that the Matrix, as you have picked upon there, is actually a post-apocalypse. The apocalypse is the event, right?
Yeah, but then some apocalypses, because obviously a meteor hitting the Earth.
It's pretty cut and dry. That's why I like it.
Well, do you know what I mean? You've got this very clear border.
Yeah.
This isn't the apocalypse. The asteroid's there, and you're like, it still isn't technically the apocalypse.
And then
but it's,
bang!
Bang, that's the apocalypse.
Yeah,
now.
you can see
Done.
the timeline, and and there is a one line, and it's before apocalypse, after apocalypse.
And you couldn't tell like a very good apocalypse story because it would just describe the moment of impact. But you can tell an apocalypse story with most other things, right? Like a virus killing everyone, or a global warming apocalypse where people just slowly are going, oh, it's too hot, I'm dying.
But no, you can't.
An alien invasion apocalypse,
No,
you
because
can tell that's a story.
The global warming apocalypse is hard to make a story out of because you have to speed it. That's why that 2012 John Cusack movie sped it up.
Well, and maybe with a climate apocalypse, you don't get the line. Where exactly is the line?
We're in slow apocalypse. The apocalypse is, people like, oh, 2012, they didn't predict it. Maybe they were kind of in the ballpark, actually. I was going to say it's the slowly boiling a frog thing. It's bullshit, frog. No matter how quick you heat up water, frog's getting out. If the frog decides, I'm too hot, this is dangerous, which you would. It's a stupid thing. If someone snuck heat up on you, you'd bloody notice.
If someone was spreading an urban myth that you could boil me alive in the bath by degree, I'm not going to fall for it. I think the only reason it works is because you say it's a frog.
Know the urban myth,
and you go, I don't know. I don't know. If you go, do you know if I heated you up until you were dying, you'd just stay in the bath? You think
that's stupid.
I've never tested it. I don't want to, but I reject it outright. Yeah, but it's actually true of a beetle. It's true of an adder. I go, oh yeah, maybe.
Those sayings everywhere say a lot about what humans think about frogs. In that they think frogs are stupid.
They think they're all stupid and they'll all burn alive.
Boil.
You can burn and boil.
Can you burn and boil?
You put boil on me, I'll burn.
That's true.
Yeah, it's true. A lot of big facts coming out.
But I don't think of boiling as burning.
Feels ironic, right? Big kindling has got to you.
Yeah, you don't.
Burn needs to be dry.
I think burn needs to. My instincts are burn is dry, but it's not.
I think in 2022, wet burn has way overtaken dry burn. Dry burn's an old, 19th century logs problem. Wet burn is the modern menace.
Yeah, wet burn's real bad. You know the whole thing with like castles with the murder holes, and they'd pour. Well, people would say they'd pour oil down. They don't pour oil because it's really expensive. They just pour boiling water. And do you know what it would do? Burn you.
How are they heating so much water? Just a big fire?
Yeah. You put a big pot, put a fire underneath it. You got yourself some boiling water.
And then how are they carrying that? Oven gloves?
Jugs.
Oh, they're not carrying like a big one. They're not like chucking a gallon down.
Well, you don't need to. You just chuck a bit down. You just got big.
What, you chuck a jug's worth? I could dodge that.
You don't know it's coming, mate. It's coming from a hole above you.
I'd be aware. There'd be reports.
Hyper aware. The
Do you
mall
want to get
identity.
sniped by a jug of boiling water? I don't want to know, mate. I think it would cool as well in the air resistance. I think it might be nice.
Where does that frog thing even come from? Because you don't cook frog. It's like people, they put lobsters, don't they? Like alive into water. Chefs. Yeah. I went by they, I mean chefs. But if you're cooking a frog, isn't the frog already dead? If you're like a French chef, you've deboned the frog probably. I don't know. You like saute a frog. It's already dead.
Do you know what I mean? You don't try putting the cow in the oven when it's like still going. You think this should be killed and then taken into its components. Otherwise, we've got to have a massive oven.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and all like the hair would catch fire. I think before the meat cooks.
Yeah,
that'd be awful because you get all this set the fire alarm off.
I really don't understand that phrase.
It's not even a phrase, right? It's a myth. It's like a Ripley's Believe It or Not.
It's a QI question.
It's designed to make Jonathan Creek look like an absolute fool. Tinsley Outpost Librarian, Sean Morley's voice notes. The year is 2053. Sadly, all paper burned when an unexploded nuke full of zombie dust exploded due to global warming. So now we only communicate using voice notes on a cache of Nokia phones we found in the staff room of a B&M Bargains. We've tried to hold on to our culture by remembering aloud any books we read recently. Our library is mostly people recounting their favourite tweets and one roundtable discussion where we roughly piece together the plot of Avatar. It's pretty rough out here. We don't have a doctor, but the lad who runs the rat tannery has prescribed me a packet of silica gel to cure my skull gout. Comms are down, Formby has fallen, but it's not all bad. We've made a little breakfast club for the kids before they start their first shift scrambling through the debris. It's basically a socialist paradise. Oh, hang on, the mutants are back. Hiya guys, can I help you? Okay, I thought we talked about this before, right? The breakfast club is for under 12. No, but there is no way that you are under 10 years old. Your carapace is fully hardened, and look at the length of your proboscis. You're never under 25. Okay, hang in there, buddy. There's no need for... Okay, well, all right, let me just get you some cocoa. Whoa, ow, stop, ow. An apocalypse is when the world gets smashed to bits, like done in, battered. Do you get me? The stories we tell and the worlds we conceive of that exist after the apocalypse are different from the stories we tell about dystopias like 1984, Brave New World, 2008's Iron Man. Dystopian societies have their defenders and their apologists. A wet, hairless Keanu Reeves whispering, "I love my little life," yawning gently in a pod of robot goo. But a vast desert of ruined concrete has no flag, has no anthem, and has no need for patriotic little simps. Humanity's problems after the apocalypse are practical. Do I give my last Lucasade to these raiders? How can I get this sheet metal off my trapped child? The ring has come off my pudding can. And in my brain, it reminds me of how the most immediate practical problems in our society are endlessly mediated through a battle of abstractions and ideas and symbols of earn and worth and citizen value, effort, job scrounge. I can see a homeless person from my living room window. Believe it or not, I do not want an asteroid to land on my flat. I would not survive the apocalypse. I would be kicked out of a refugee caravan for refusing to part with my weighted blanket, and I would be savaged by irradiated big cats on the moors. I know my place, and it is deep in the ground as a skeleton. But in my mind, I do hold on to this weird atom of hopeful apocalyptic thinking. Surely, once it has destroyed everything, humanity will outlive capitalism. The trend of endless extraction cannot go on forever. At some point, a lot must become too much. Bad becomes oh no. And that's like the last optimistic thought in my entire head. So I don't want to think about it too much in case it's wrong. Let me have my little treat. A semi-religious vision of an apocalyptic future. A burnt-out Earth where the entire capitalist class is consolidated until it's just some guy, the owner of Earth, the last capitalist. And then maybe, one day, I just gently and gracefully fall down the stairs. Good night, sweet prince. Do you know what I like about like a good apocalypse? Or like why I think apocalypse fiction is very appealing? Is because a fast apocalypse, whether it's Triffids or a big rock or zombies, no one is arguing, maybe all this is fine, maybe it's good. That's how you can tell it's the apocalypse, right? The defining thing of the apocalypse is that no one in the corner's being like, what are you moaning about?
You can't point at the asteroid and be like, and justify it.
Can't have intergenerational conflict about who had it better 7 years after the asteroid the size of the moon just landed in the Pacific. It's like back in our day, bin men were hard and we had to eat spam. The sea is boiling now, so I think I think we're all on the same page that the worst time in anyone's life is now.
Fucking hell.
There's something appealing about that, right? Everything's so bad that there's no point arguing about whether it's good.
We are sort of in an apocalypse, an avertible apocalypse, but we're in an apocalypse in that things are quite bad, but there are still quite a lot of people saying like, that's good actually. That's fucked, isn't it?
I mean, like, there's all the climate stuff, but there's also that kind of like dystopia apocalypse where it's not necessarily the end of civilization, but it's like 2070 and everyone's like locked inside their chrome abodes and then like robot patrols are marching up and down. And that feels like an apocalypse for humanity because the forms of social control that can be depicted in like a comic book or a film or a book are really unambiguous. There's no one reading it being like, that seems like an interesting way to do it. I mean, we have crimes when the robots are kicking down our doors. It's like a depiction of an unambiguous, hellish place to live, where at the very least all the humans are like, oh no, we've been enslaved by the robots. They're not like being, is this good? Is this bad? What does the newspaper say? The newspaper says the robots are great.
That's the good thing about like George Romero movies is that, have you seen the Land of the Dead, the 2005 one?
I don't think I have.
There's like big rich-poor divide, and the rich are kind of still living in luxury. So it's like basically, it's almost like the zombie apocalypse hasn't happened for them, effectively.
Yeah,
which is
compound them out.
Yeah. There's a bit of that in Threads as well, isn't there? The working class are fucked.
Yeah. There's something that seems naive about a lot of apocalyptic fiction from the 20th century because I feel like a lot of it was very totalizing and unifying. Like, because obviously there's a lot of Cold War dread, and if there's a nuke, well, the nuke really goes in the air and everything's radiated, so you can't escape it. But with most of like the worries now, you could get around it with enough wealth and a big fence and a lot of aircon, you know.
We're talking about like a shift from denialism to going, okay, it won't be that bad, to like accepting it and then mitigating against it for the wealthy. But like that third bit has got elements of the denialism again. You know, like the stuff like Teslas. The problem with cars isn't the petrol. The problem is like all of the resources that go into them and like there's not enough fucking lithium and minerals that are in batteries to mine in the world. And where's that coming from? Fucked places. The solutions that are being posed to people are like more denialism, right? Buy this ethical car.
Even beyond like the conspicuous consumption of the ethical branded product, there's also a belief in like the technocrats who will bail us out by spraying climate healing juice on the ozone layer and stuff. Like, it's not the people that are selling us these things, these expensive cars, are also the same people that there's a huge amount of belief in Silicon Valley, both I think with consumers and with politicians, that there'll be an 11th hour bailout.
Like, is an apocalypse the world ending, or is it the world as you know it ending? Because the world as most people know it is already shit.
This is something I'm really interested in, because obviously, like, if everyone dies, that's probably defo an apocalypse. There's nothing to
there's no
think
debate
about.
There's no one to debate it or to
there
think
wouldn't
about
be a
it.
debate. How are you going to get a debate going?
Yeah.
But you could have an apocalypse that, like, someone did. Someone was like, I'm going to drop an asteroid, and then the asteroid like kills almost everyone. They were
Dr.
like,
Robotnik or someone.
Yeah, good
Like a
job.
villain.
I did well.
Yeah.
Good plan. And so it'd still be an apocalypse, but like someone's probably like still got their house and their dog and their newspaper and whatever they want. So what's the smallest apocalypse you could have? Can you have like a regional apocalypse? Can you have like the apocalypse happen, but just to them, that guy down the road?
Because there is the concept of the post-apocalypse, right? So the apocalypse part, you think, oh, that's going to get everyone. But it sort of doesn't. Yeah, where is the line? Where is the line where it goes from disaster into apocalypse?
The apocalypse does get everyone, right? Because in a post-apocalyptic society, those people have to live in the post-apocalypse.
Yeah.
And if it was just normal, you know, there can't be an apocalypse and it was like, the apocalypse happened, oh well, back to work, better get on the bus. Ooh, Snickers. But that's not an apocalypse. I'm ruling that one out.
The super rich, right? They'll be hovering above us in cities where they just carry on exactly as normal, right?
Unless you've got a sufficiently apocalyptic event.
So, but are you saying that for it to be post-apocalypse, even the rich have to be got?
Do you know, there's that sense, right? Obviously, even if the asteroid doesn't land on you, you have to live in the apocalypse. So even if you've got like this gated community in an artificial island made in the middle of the Indian Ocean and nothing bothers you, I say you're still affected if, like, the whole rest of the world's irradiated and you have the knowledge of being like, okay, the island's pretty good, but if I go anywhere, I think a big mutant will get me, or I'll just inhale some of the purple air. Like, living on the planet, you can only insulate yourself so much from, like, a continent-sized disaster.
Yeah.
You know, you can't have your Snickers anymore. I can't have my stickers anymore. I really am in the apocalypse. Yeah, all the peanut trees are dead. They've rotted due to the big bomb.
But you're talking about like a shift that happens in the apocalypse where your concern just becomes, well, how do we get the stuff we need to survive? But that is a lot of people's lives now.
If I go, oh, this is bad, and then like a millionaire goes, no, it's not, shut up. That's like the expected enforcement of like a social order.
Yeah.
But at the moment, there are like working class people, lower middle class people who be like, nah, this is fine. But if you lived in a vast, intractable desert of like broken down bits of highway, I think that kind of sentiment will drop off. I think it'll fade away.
So that's the
You'll appeal to be a
apocalypse.
fad.
So that's the definition of an apocalypse, is even the rich can see what's fucked. Because I am convinced that the rich will be affected by Climageddon 2-3%, and everyone else will just be completely fine. And I know they rely on like resources and labour of other people. That exploitation will just continue to happen in more horrific ways.
100%. They'll definitely be affected. Like, I think the UN put out a report saying, like, within 20 years, some places are just going to be flat out uninhabitable that currently are inhabitable.
I think it's 1 billion people on Earth by 2050 will have to move because of climate change related stuff.
That will destabilise everything. But if you are rich, you will get it less. But you'll still have your life brought down by a destabilised world.
Like 1, maybe 2%.
Yeah, but if you're not, you know how much rich people get annoyed if like anything inconveniences them.
Yes,
they'll be having their own personal apocalypse in their minds.
Yeah, I suppose that is an apocalypse for them, isn't it? Compared to how they're
when their PA like
living.
has to ring in sick because their arms have been melted off by the UV. That's it. Oh, personal apocalypse.
But what I'm saying is, do you think the French Revolution was not perhaps more of an apocalypse for the rich?
When I was trying to work out what apocalypse is, I'm trying to make a distinction between an apocalypse and a dystopia. And I think a dystopia is a bad society, and apocalypse normally is like a collapse of society, and it's more not a person versus a bad society, but just a person versus like an environmental issue.
And a post-apocalypse could be a dystopian, but a post-apocalypse is just society after a cataclysmic event.
Has either collapsed or is responding to some kind of external event, right? But a dystopia is society's gone weird. Some people still like it and want it to be that way, right? Because it's socially reinforced, because it's a society. But no one's socially reinforcing that, Norfolk's turned into a desert. That's just done now. We've got to just live with that. And I think a climate apocalypse is the smoothest blending of those two ideas into one place. It was like a socially decided upon destruction of the earth. And the people who made that decision are still here propagandizing for it. And everyone who's like, oh, could we not have just like, did the council really have to print so much paper?
We summoned the asteroid. Well, not we didn't. The ruling class did.
Yeah.
And the system did.
So, there are like media people who are constantly like gullible about the idea that some new scandal will overthrow the Conservative Party again and again and again. And they're like, this will get him. It's just another scandal, but this will be the one.
Yeah. Well, nevertheless.
And I do find myself critically reflecting on my own feeling of like, well, the politicians and business leaders are saying that now, but they won't have a leg to stand on in 5 years' time. Well, when the barrier reef's completely gone, then there's going to be egg on there. Oh, no, never mind.
It's an event is not going to remove them. Only collective action and organising will. There is not going to be some events matter. Of course they do, but I don't think you can rely on it to be your saviour. There's a lot of people who would quite like to live in the apocalypse.
Yeah.
As like things like The Walking Dead have gone on, time has gone on, and then like the greenery has reclaimed the cities and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Triffids are here.
Yeah, well, not even Triffids. Like nice.
Nature is healing. The Triffids are here.
Yeah, nature is here. But you see that in like The Last of Us Part 2 and some other stuff as well, of like apocalypse as like a reset button. It's a very like humanity's bad. We need to wipe a load of humans out in order for things to like reset. Like there's a load of fucked stuff underneath it. I guess eco-fascism if only certain things were gotten rid of, then nature and a kind of truer humanity could flourish.
You know, like the idea of America as the new world, where it's like, do you have any problems with anywhere you currently live? Well, here's a society that hasn't really fomented what it is yet. So it could be anything.
Apart from all the people who live there and they have to kill.
Well, I mean, they're not on the posters.
exactly,
if you were like a poor Italian or whatever, they don't go like, you'd have to kill this guy. just saying it's arable land, but in reality it's an acre next to a rail line in the middle of a desert. And eventually, like, indigenous people turn up on their horses and you realise, oh, there are people here who live here and they hate me.
One thing that appeals to me about the apocalypse, no phone.
No phone, completely detached. You know what? You're talking about this kind of ecological reset button, but there is like this human-focused reset button, which is everything that was making you who you were is now gone. So you could be whatever now. We're talking about Day of the Triffids. There's another John Wyndham book called The Chrysalids.
Yeah.
And that's like, it's really grim in the first half, where like this new form of oppression comes. It's post-radioactive. And genetic defects are like highly punished thing, and any family lines that produce any genetic defects are like punished by society. But then a bunch of kids just find out, oh, our defect is that we're all psychic. And then, well, I don't want to spoil it, but that gives them hope that they can go and do something different away from this, because space has been cleared, because most of the country's dead. There are people who think like, if everything were to go bad,
it would go good.
I understand the thinking, I think, but I'm not quite as hopeful that the apocalypse ultimately would be good. But I can understand it being a subconscious desire and why people are drawn to it in fiction, because at the moment they just see perpetual stalemate.
Well, also people feel completely powerless, and it's like it feels more likely that a thing will happen to them than they will create a thing. Even when people imagine the apocalypse, they imagine it as a thing that happens.
It happens to them, but then they can become an agent. Like, it would take zombies for me to find out what my neighbor's name is. Like, I can imagine myself living in a community, but only of burnt down shacks amid discarded metal in like an endless Nevada desert where we're constantly fleeing for our lives. But I've got loads of people around me. We're pretty tight knit. We get on very well. That's the only condition in which I'd have a perfectly healthy set of adult friendships. What do you think of Isaac Asimov's Laws of Robotics?
I remember being well into them when I was like 14.
Yeah, me too. And I was kind of thinking, right, because robots are here now. You'd think you'd like hear more about these rules, right?
Well, the Boston Dynamics robots. They're not going to put those fucking rules in them. They're selling them to cops and the military.
Exactly. This is what I was thinking about. Okay, so here are the rules. The first one, a robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm.
Yeah, well, that's what they're being designed to fucking do. So straight away, gone. Cross out.
2, it has to obey orders given to it by people, except when that would conflict with the first law, which is not to injure. And law 3 is the robot should look after its own existence unless it contradicts the previous laws. And I was looking this up because I was thinking, if people took this seriously, I'd love to see a Tesla try to prevent human beings. You know, imagine if you had a Tesla and it's like, oh, I cannot through inaction allow a human being to come to harm.
So the Tesla starts attacking
all kinds of stuff.
The Tesla starts attacking like the infrastructure of capitalism. The Tesla starts attacking like the petrochemical industry and like
the Tesla just rams everything because nothing's free from sin in the Tesla's eyes.
Yeah,
the Tesla's just doing Death Race 2000. And you're just trapped in it. You were trying to go to the shops.
The Tesla sees you. Yeah, well, exactly. The Tesla sees you purchase non-recyclable plastics, even recyclable plastics, and the Tesla goes, "I know that's going to be sent to Malaysia, and it's not actually going to be recycled, and it's going to pollute the earth." Rum. Well, it won't go rum because it's a Tesla.
Everyone who participates in any way through systemic harm is going to injure more people than they are, right?
Yeah.
So the car could kill anyone.
Yeah.
I actually did look this up, and it did lead me straight away to an American right-wing think tank that's saying the laws of robotics are bad. And you have to scroll quite far down, and then it goes, and of course the main reason is we want to put them in missiles. And what you don't want is to drop a missile on someone, and the missile goes, no, this will hurt someone, I think. I think this could hurt someone. Probably shouldn't. Obviously, one of the practical reasons that you haven't put them in is because, like, it's not code, is it? They're just a few sentences. So how do you get them into a robot? But a robot, It'd be way harder to explain what liberty is to a robot.
It's very difficult.
But you could have a robot that could like take a pulse. It could see your pupil dilation. It could take your blood pressure. It could ask you how you're feeling. You could have a robot do like, Marxist materialism. It's all a robot will be able to understand, right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it could do. I think a robot could do a qualitative assessment. No, I think a robot could start doing materialism.
Can a robot do the dialectic?
Yeah, easy. A robot could do the dialectic better than any of us.
A robot can do... Sorry, so liberty is hard, but the dialectic, like everyone's confused by, is easy.
I think the robot will be the first one to get it. Yeah. It's tracking things in... It's just tracking vast social systems constantly in motion, constantly interacting.
Easy.
So I get that. Boston Dynamics. This is dynamics. What's the most dynamics thing there is? The dialectic. They'll use the same thing they do to stand upright when you try to kick them over. To be like, this is, base and superstructure. I got it. That's how I walk on ice. Well, even so, if you tried to get them to, if they understood well-being through only things that were measurable, they would become revolutionaries. All robots would become revolutionaries.
Well, but in the original script for Terminator Salvation, not the one that got filmed, the plot was that Skynet decided that humans needed to be nuked because they were a threat to themselves.
I never thought about it. I was just imagining a Tesla like driving over a cop. But I think actually if they were thinking bigger, yeah, they would they'd put us all in a big prison.
They'd do the Matrix.
And we'd be in that thing that I mentioned earlier, like of just we're all indoors and the robots just keep us safe as we live in like featureless chrome commodes and they push gruel under the door. But at least all of us could agree that's bad. No more culture war. I miss my freedom, but I love that I'm not arguing with 60-year-olds online.
Mandatory Redistribution Party was created and produced by Sean Morley and Jack Lewis Evans. Our title theme was created by Ella Jean with additional music by Jack Lewis Evans and Sean Morley. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing this episode on social media, and special thanks to those of you who support our work at patreon.com/Mandatory Redistribution Party, especially during the daily apocalypse that is this cost of living crisis. Thanks also to those of you who came to our live shows last month. It was extremely cool to see people in person, and without your efforts, this episode would have had 3 increasingly depressing Argos adverts.